Hey everybody, it's your friend Sarmate here, and we're back with another episode of Settlement Survival. I hope you're having a fantastic and amazing day today. In this episode, we are going to get into some deep mines as well as some gold mine. So let's go ahead and get that started up right away. We're going to go up to our technologies, of course, go to mining, and we are going to grab exploration and exploitation technology too. So the exploration is for mines, we're going to grab that, and then we're going to go for exploitation for the quarries. And we should have the resources to build these. I double checked before I decided to go after them. So we should be able to do at least a little bit of upgrading, which would be very nice. And then finally, I wanted to get into some gold mining. So the gold miner cabin here can pan sand for gold and use that in the carving workshop and the jewelry workshop, which we got in the last episode. This one, it looks like, is going to require some toolkits. So we'll have to order those, which isn't that big of a deal. I'll look into why we can't quite make those yet. It's kind of weird. So let's go ahead, we'll activate this one as well. We'll get gold mining. Okay, now, we have quite a few mines around town here, and a lot of them are kind of sitting around like this one right here because we have 0 inventory in it. And I would like to get the deep mines set up. This one's at 58, this one's at 55, so we do have some time with some of these, but I want to be prepared for the next step, which is, of course, the deep mine. So this one right here, let's go ahead and we'll upgrade it right away to the deep mine. Gonna take some building kits, some steel, and some lantern. We can handle that. Let's go ahead and select it. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for mines as they get to the point of being empty, as senior mines like this one, and we will go ahead and upgrade them as we go. So we have 2 senior quarries. This one's at 78, looking pretty good, but the other one is empty. So let's go ahead and we'll upgrade this quarry to the deep quarry. Building kits, steel, and lanterns. Go ahead and get that upgrading as well. Okay, so now we have the gold mine that we can't quite build yet. So let's go ahead and we'll do a little search here for gold. Here it is, the gold miner cabin. So this guy's going to be utilizing sand to pan for gold. And we had some mountains over in here. I flattened about, looking good now. It's going to be the perfect little spot for a couple of these gold miner cabins. And let's just start with the one for now, I think. And then we will, of course, bring our road across the bottom here. And maybe we'll do a transfer station on the end. The problem is going to be laborers. As you can see, we are currently at 4. So not very good. I'm going to go ahead and pause that transfer station because of that problem. We should have, well, we don't have planks and we don't have cut stone because we're working on that Great Hall. But anyways, we also have this kiln factory down over in here, and my point for this was going to do some glass bottles, where you're really low on glass bottles, so we'll get that one set up. And let's go ahead and we'll check on that kind of wondery thing. It's not a wonder, but it feels like a wonder. This guy, the Great Pallets. So we're looking great with bricks, got that figured out. We can't even gather jade. Maybe I should have gone into jade instead of gold, but too late now. And then we are working on cut stone, and then we are also working on plank. So we have about 1,500 planks. Oh, I do have a caravan out right now. Should be back pretty soon. And this caravan is working on trading out some bell towers. Now, for some reason, I thought I had enough bell towers, and obviously I do not. So I'm not sure why that happened, but I'm gonna go ahead and dismiss this. Partially because of our labor situation. And if we don't have enough bell towers, it's gonna sit here until we do. And I did swap over the bell towers to be traps. So we're looking at 240 traps right now, which is pretty dang good. We can absolutely sell some of these guys, of course. These are only 13 apiece, so not nearly as good. So I think we're going to go ahead and swap that back over to bell tower because the bell tower has that worth of 1,000 apiece versus the trap, which is 13. Yeah, we're going to go for bell tower, and we are absolutely going to be trading some of these guys out. It looks like we only have 9 bell towers. I'm not sure what happened to all the ones that we produced previously. Kind of a weird situation there. But we'll continue to work on bell towers. I have also been going along, and when I see things like this, when we have upgrades that we can do, I'm trying to put our upgrades in. I went through all those houses, kind of up over in here. I guess we're right here. We're talking about it. And I put dogs in dang near every single one of them. So I'll show you that here. All of these, you knew that were all upgraded with dogs. And then I had a couple houses over in here that were still needing to be upgraded to luxury homes. And for the most part, there's going to be like 2 or 3 around here that still need the dog in there. But for the most part, we have dogs in every single one of these houses. So it's looking really great. So here's a couple of them that need the dog still. So we'll go ahead and we'll fill those in. We still have 20 puppies, which is just great. We have plenty to spare, plenty that we can share around the town and get lots of those guys going. And I think that's the last 4. Yep, one more. So we'll get that last one in there. And yeah, so all of these are now upgraded with puppies. Even the senior housing looking good. So yeah, this little area, fantastic. How are you doing? I'm visiting because we need some groceries. I wonder if you can do me a favor. Next time you happen to run out of salt for cooking at home, come ask me for some. We are the neighbors who would help each other. She needs some rope. Okay. It's great to have friends like you. Now I'm going to be tinkering with the house with these materials. Okay, cool. 150 rep. Wow. Okay, I'll take that. That's really good. But yeah, anyways, these guys are all upgraded, looking great. So now we have to pick the next little neighborhood to start upgrading, and it might be this one over in here. We need to keep track of our labor. We're down to 1, even after we got the 10 back from the trading post. So we really, really need to keep that fertility rate as high as it can be, because we didn't just complete a mine and they're just sitting in the mine. So we just don't have the laborers right now. Got people going to school, which is great. Another thing that we can watch out for is this guy right here. It's on the way. The merchant ships. Since we have dock, we've been trying to keep a little bit of our eyes peeled on those merchant ships that come past, because there is a reputation guy thing that we've never checked out before, and that's Antonio's neutral fractions, the Grand Thermi. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last word there. And then the adult schooling. So this guy is going to consume water to provide considerable health bonus, that sounds great. We can easily handle that. And then this guy is going to provide adults with education, and immigrants will go to school before going to work, increasing their efficiency. That's what schools do. So yeah, 2 pieces that we don't have yet that will be delivered possibly by the merchant ship. So it's a chance thing. We got to keep checking for it. So that's what we're trying to do here. Another little thing that I was kind of just looking at, just kind of for funsies, is this game has all sorts of really cool decorations, and I haven't talked about them yet in this playthrough, so I want to just look at these really quickly here and just go through and see some of these. So we have lighting. There was at one point in this game, I may have turned it off, let's just see, a day and night cycle, which was really cool. If you haven't come up in here and checked out some of these settings, it's always a good thing to do, of course. I have turned off a couple of things here. Fog I have turned off. I think it's been a long time since we've had fog on, and I don't even remember why or what it looks like. But I have weather effects checked. I want to see the snow. If you have this off in the wintertime, there won't be any snow. So maybe if your computer's struggling or something like that, you can go ahead and toggle that and find what works best for you. Clouds. So that's going to be these little like shadowy things that we can see, of course. You can see the shadows of the clouds that are passing by. And then, of course, we have our FPS set at 60. And then we have the graphics quality and all these other things here. And then over in here, let's see. Here we go. So night and day cycle. So right now I have it set to long day, and I have yet to see night at all. So maybe let's go ahead and we'll do a day and night cycle. It's been a long time since we've seen the night. Let's go ahead and we'll set that to day and night so we can see it again. Coming back to lighting here. This is why lighting exists in the game. If you have been watching and you've been wondering why I don't have any nighttime, that was why. And so these guys didn't really serve a purpose if we don't have night. But we'll maybe put a couple of them in so we can see what they look like here. I kind of like the street lamp, this guy right here. But keep in mind that these guys are going to take silver coins each to create. And this single one is going to be 300. Before I just grab this street lamp, let's look around and see what else we can get here. Strange lamp, a brazier. Ooh, campfire. Let's see, 200, 300. Yeah, so these are kind of expensive. 1,500. Very, very expensive there. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll grab our street lamp. We got to check our merchant ship. So if we zoom in right here, let's go ahead and we'll pop one down, and we'll go like that. And we'll check that out in a little bit here. So let's do a handful here. This will be the only lit up street at night. So we'll check those out. Let's grab that merchant ship while we're here and thinking about it. And we have picnic, fruitcake, and lamp oil. So unfortunately, we do not have any of those blueprints that we were hoping for. So we'll just ignore this one for now, and we'll get back to looking at the decorations. Okay, so we looked at the lighting, and then there's theme decor, which I thought was a really neat thing. So Halloween time, we got vampire stuff, we got Halloween stuff, a magic hat, a stump demon, scarecrow lamp, that's cool. And then Christmas, we have a couple little things here, broken stuff, a spring festival, and then Easter egg. So lots of really cool seasonal things that you can build up in the game. Really great. A couple of little furniture things that you can put in. I'm not really sure why you would want like a bookshelf like just hanging out. Maybe you're doing a little gathering space or something. I don't know. But yeah, here's all these guys. A bearskin rug. We got some mirrors, a wooden horse, life rings, all sorts of really cool stuff. And I've played a good handful of city builder games, and I think this game does the best with the decoration stuff. I'm just horrible at doing it, so that's why I normally don't. We got lots of little fences here, a couple hedges, stone fence, pretty cool. And these are, I like these the most, I think. Miscellaneous statues. We got cat statues, giant statues, an infernal effigy, a statue of Guan Yu, 5x5. Let's see what that looks like. I mean, it's kind of hard to see because it's blue, of course. But yeah, really cool. But these things, look at that. 50,000 silver coins. 50,000. Very, very, very expensive. A samurai statue, that's super cool. And then a couple of these little guys over in here. Caravan, we've seen these previously in other playthroughs, but I haven't put any in yet. But 2,000 piece, very, very expensive for some of this stuff. So we're probably not going to be putting a lot of them in. A couple plants here. We got some trees. Dried bamboo pile, that looks kind of cool. Willow breadfruit tree. Very interesting stuff. And then we have decorative buildings as well. Snow house, a big sphinx, 8x16. Look at that, buddy. How much is that? 80,000? Luxury castle, a 3x3. Cool. Yeah, so lots of really neat stuff. So if you haven't played with these at all and playing the game, absolutely check them out. We got a pyramid here. Super cool. We have our little lamp built up. So here we go. This is what the lamps look like. They look good. I like them. And didn't take too long to get built up at all. So cool. We'll see what they look like once the night falls. If it does in this episode, I'm not really sure what the real-time span of day and night is. And if the day reset as soon as I change that setting, I'm not really sure. But we'll hopefully see. Okay, so we did see our deep mine. We got that over in here someplace. This guy, it's all good to go. But our quarry is also good to go. Let's go ahead and turn this off again because of our labor situation. And let's see what else we can do with this. So there are a couple upgrades. So now we're at deep quarry and we're at deep mine. So if we upgrade with lanterns, they will stay there. Just like every other thing, if you put an upgrade in it and you upgrade the building, you lose it. Work efficiency was increased by 10%. So super good. So we have been working for a long time, speaking of upgrades, on ovens. 77 ovens ready to roll. So we have to go through a little bit here and find some buildings that are going to be able to utilize ovens for us. So we'll do that. And then with this luxury furniture factory here, since we have salted leather, refined leather now, we can make luxury furniture. So we started to do that. Got a couple of them now. Luxury furniture is yet another upgrade item that we can utilize, and once we get a good handful, we will. So yeah, let's go through. We'll see where we can put some ovens. A lot of these are just regular old brick kilns, which of course we can absolutely do as we go along here. If you're wondering why this is off and the other two aren't, it's a labor thing. I'm gonna go ahead and do that there too. Trying to cut back a little bit on the things that aren't completely necessary, so that we can have enough laborers to run the dang old town. It took me quite a while to find a couple buildings that are going to utilize those ovens that we have created, but our candy lane over in here is one of them that is going to utilize our ovens. Currently at 80. Let's go ahead and pop a couple of these guys in here to increase the efficiency of candy. These candies are really important to have around town. They provide that happiness bonus, but it's hard to keep on top of them and have enough production to supply everybody. We currently have 4 candy workshops. The 2 down here aren't running at full staff. We might have to cut some of these back a little bit to try and provide enough workers again, but we'll do that as needed here. I'm noticing that a lot of these buildings are either steel tools or regular old brick to upgrade things. So maybe having as many ovens as we have, the 80 that we have, maybe is kind of unnecessary. So if you're looking to build upgrades, steel tools and bricks are the way to go. Here's another one. The sugar workshop is utilizing the oven. We're going to go ahead and do that. Got our dyeing mills. Everything's working great over up in this area. And we'll continue to upgrade as we are able to and as we see things to upgrade. Let's cut this one back just a little bit as well, for worker-wise, I mean. Do that. And this guy doesn't need to be quite so heavily worked on. So yeah, we're just trying to balance the labor thing. Luckily we have immigrants on the way, and we'll utilize those for sure when they get here. And then we have another merchant ship on the way as well. So that's awesome. Lots of good stuff on the way. And I think we have a new tech point. Yes, we do. So let's go back to our mining here. And we talked about the jade house and saying, oh, I wish I hit the jade house. And now we do. So let's go ahead and we'll grab this guy. Again, this guy's also going to need toolkits, which we don't have any of. And we can't get right now because we don't have the laborers and blah, 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 blah. But once we get the immigrants, we'll be able to do that. And we'll get the toolkits and get the gold mining and the jade house happening. So the jade house is going to be looking for stone. And remember that the gold is going to be looking for sand. The jade house is going to be looking through our stone for some jade. And we absolutely want to have that happening. So let's go ahead and we'll get this guy learned. And then we did have our quarry down over in here. It really wouldn't be too bad if we had the jade house pretty close to that. So let's go ahead and grab the jade house. We'll get that guy started up about right there. That looked great right there. And then we have our... Ooh, we have a warehouse here, but it's pretty full. Let's check our brick reserve. Yeah, 1,200. We're getting a little low on our bricks, but let's upgrade that guy. Doubling the storage. Super powerful upgrade on those warehouses. Yeah, so we're just kind of waiting for those laborers at this point. Looking at 0. I'll probably go through and cut back some things that we can maybe cut back on. Perhaps like some water. We have a lot of water right now. We don't really need as much as we have going on. So I'll check out some of our reservoirs like these guys right here. And maybe let's go ahead and cut that back. What can these guys use to upgrade? Indestructible and then gears, which we have the tech for, but we haven't produced any yet. These guys are going to be made at the forge. Maybe that's something that we also start to work on. Our little foraging area is going to be over in this direction. And here we go. We got them right here. So we have smelters, steel factories, and then here's our forges. The forges, so this is where we get toolkits and gears. So let's go ahead. Again, the laborer thing. Let's go ahead and we'll put 2 more in preparation to build those 2 items. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that. And then we'll get them built up, and then we'll have to turn them off. Something we could do, since the smelters are at 1,000 steel, go ahead and turn a couple of these off as well. And that way we will conserve some of our workers. So we'll get those guys cut off. And then as we're using up steel, of course, hopefully these 2 will be able to keep up. If not, we'll have to think about what we want to do. Steel tools here. Let's go ahead and take another worker off that. And we'll leave that as is for now. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wait a little bit for the merchant ship, and we'll see what's on there. If there's anything good on that merchant ship, I'll bring it back. If not, I'm just going to let it go, and I'm waiting for those immigrants so that we can go ahead and start filling in some places again and get back to work on a couple of things, including a caravan and hopefully getting some of these jade and gold stuff started up. I'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back, everybody. So our merchant ship is just now pulling out of the gate here. There was nothing really on it to really mention. So the thing to mention, though, as you can see here, is we have a clothing problem big time. So something that I've started to do to try and fix that is put a bunch of rough clothes where we've been trying to do down jackets. And that seems to be helping a little bit. We were at like 300 or something needing clothes. And as you can see, we're about down to 160, give or take. It's kind of fluctuating a little bit. So kind of working on that issue, switching a lot of these back to rough clothing. So we'll work on that. We got to get that figured out. Clothing is a very important piece, obviously. But on the other hand, we also have 48 laborers now. We just had those immigrants roll in. And then we did have this obsidian mine right here that was working. I turned it off, gained us 10 workers back. We still have the 2 obsidian mines up over in here operating. So we can absolutely cut these back if we need to after a little bit here. But while we have the laborers, let's pause the game so that we don't run out of laborers like we did last episode again. Let's go ahead and form a caravan, and we're going to set this up to visit Rania. All right, here we go. We're all set up. We have a good amount of jewelry. We're going to get that out of here, and then we have a ton of iron statues. So we're going to get some of those out of here. Going to call in about 100 toolkits, and then I thought we should probably get some clothing happening. 1,700 rough clothing on the way, and we're still making money off the transaction. We're going to go ahead and form this. We got enough laborers to do so. Let's go ahead and get it going. Okay, let's turn the game back on. And we got another tech point here that we can put something in. And I was kind of thinking that we go ahead and put it in book. So, we should have probably had this a while ago. Book is going to help us upgrade our research institutes to research academies. And we are also going to get printing factories so that we can make books. The books are going to be able to go back into the Research Academy and be utilized by them to make even more technology points. I think this is something that we really should have had by now. So we're going to go ahead and grab books, and we're going to upgrade some of our Research Academies. So we have a ton of them down over in here, like a block of just Research Institute. So let's go ahead and we will upgrade. But here we go. We need planks. I see. I thought I had planks taken care of, but again, we're working on that huge wonder, so we don't. I did pause that wonder just because we're kind of falling behind on a couple of buildings, such as this. We need the cut stone, and we want to upgrade. We want to use those planks, so we're going to go ahead and pause that. We're going to upgrade here in a little bit, but I noticed here that this guy is not having an upgrade, so we're going to go ahead and put paper in there. And they're going to go ahead and utilize some paper goods. While I was waiting for that merchant ship to get here and the immigrants to get here, I was just buzzing around, checking things, upgrading things as I saw them. We've had 3 boarding schools, and I'm putting the silk into these. 10 extra students. This one's really got tons of wiggle room, so we're going to go ahead and upgrade it anyways. But the other 2 are good to go, so we got this one and this one all ready to roll here with the upgrades. So that's coming along quite nicely. Here's the Great Palace I just mentioned. I did pause it. It hasn't been night yet, so you guys didn't miss night. So we're still kind of waiting to see if that's going to happen in this episode or not. I have no idea if it's going to. We have such a long ways to go with these goods here. Once we get the toolkits in, we'll be able to start making our own jade, and then we won't have to order these. But the plank and the cut stone, we're going to be ordering like crazy, I think. Another thing that we could work on, once we get another technology point here, is going into the water trading post. Now, the biggest issue that we're having right now is laborers, right? We're struggling. We're at the point in the game where we're struggling to keep up with the deaths. And I thought we were doing all right, but that stress level is hurting us. That's the problem that we have going on right now. So if we get the water trading post, you know, they can be good. The water trading post has a huge inventory, but it takes like 20 laborers to go ahead and go do, and it takes a long time to get completed. So we could do it, but it's quite the investment. So I think maybe something that would be better to do is go for the large trading post and then maybe high speed to shorten the round trip time. I think that might be a good thing to do here, to continue to try and do more trades, get some of those goods coming in, and exporting as well. We have tons of goods that we can export. We just don't have the people to do it. Here's another mine that's just hanging out. Let's go ahead and pause that one, turn it off. And we'll go ahead. We can upgrade this one. We got the building kits, we got the steel and the lantern. Let's go ahead and queue it up. Get those guys on the way. We got to keep our eyes out for mines like that, especially right now. If they're just sitting there, they're not doing us any good. They're really hurting us, actually. So we want to get that figured out and prevent such things from happening. And it looks like, just a quick little buzz over here, we aren't really suffering from that anywhere else, which is excellent. We don't want that, of course. Now, with 42 laborers, I'm tempted to do another caravan. With that, of course, it's going to take 10 people. It's going to put us back to 31. On the other hand, we just keep our 10 people here. Of course, when we put them on a caravan, they aren't going to die or anything guaranteed. But yeah, you know, I kind of just want them around town more than often about doing their own deal. We're still working on a couple of these forges over in here. So maybe we utilize them for those forges instead. And then we have the 10 people that are out right now in our caravan. We can always turn those people around and send them back out once they get back. But so those little things with the clothing, it looks like that has been enough to turn the situation around. We only have one person currently needing clothes. So all the rough clothes that we ordered, the 1,700, are going to be a little bit excessive. But that's okay, because we can go ahead and swap these back to down jackets, and then we will be good to go, hopefully for a little while, with a good stockpile of rough clothing. And then we can utilize the down jackets as well. But we know that textiles are kind of an issue for us. So we were thinking about gears. That's another thing that we could do with another technology point. And we could start to upgrade buildings with the gears. There are gears in all sorts of different buildings. That's going to be an efficiency upgrade by 10%, and it would be a good thing to have. It would also save a little bit on laborers. If we're upgrading our buildings, we don't have to build another building and then utilize a couple more people for that building. It just kind of helps out if we are upgrading. So that's what we would like to do, and we'll just keep our eyes out for that stuff. Coming back over in here, we're still waiting on those toolkits on the gold miner, and that means our jade is still waiting on the toolkits. The caravan is on the way, hopefully. Let's go ahead and check on that guy. And yes, so we're about 150 days to go for this caravan, and then we'll be good to go with our toolkits, and that's going to be such a nice thing to have going. Forges are complete, which is excellent. Let's go ahead, and we have building kits set up right now. Let's swap that to toolkits. We need to figure out which technology that toolkit is. I thought I had it, but apparently I don't have it, and of course we don't have gear either. So yeah, we have to wait, I guess, for this technology point. And then, of course, we can get into our science and then our remodel gear here, which we want to do, of course, like we said before, get the upgrades, get the better efficiency happening and all that good stuff. So in a little bit here, we got over about half of the tech point to go here, and we'll grab remodel gear. But once we get books going, we will be able to upgrade, and that will all happen much, much quicker. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. Instead of putting in a bunch more research institutes, we'll upgrade them, and we'll save things like that. So let's see if we have any planks yet. We still don't have enough planks. We're just kind of holding off on that. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to cut again, and then we are going to wait for this caravan to come back that we got out right now. So not too long. And then we'll check back in and hopefully get some buildings built up. And then we'll check on our jade and our gold and hopefully get a little bit of that started. So I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, well, it looks like our caravan has got back, and we have our gold and jade built up. Look at what happened when our caravan came back. We got to level 4 with Rania. So that's going to unlock the exquisite swords, which is an excellent export, and the Grand Bazaar, which is a really handy way to deal with caravans. And this is going to also lower the price volatility of goods. So that's also a very nice thing to get. But we'll look at the Grand Bazaar and the exquisite sword, I think, in the next episode. Kind of running out of time for this evening, but let's go ahead and check out the gold and jade stuff before we quit here. We have our gold sand. We're working on it. We don't currently have anything in the inventory, so we're just kind of hanging out, waiting right now. This is, of course, going to take sand, which we're hurting on, and turn that into gold. So perhaps we want to maybe turn this off for now. Because we do currently have a lot of things looking for sand, but we're also utilizing a lot of things looking for clay. So the sand pit tier of goods is such a key thing to have. You really want to make sure that you have that going on really great. We have tons of stuff utilizing brick, tons of stuff making glass for us. We just really need that sand right now. So that's the situation with the gold. Coming on over to our jade. There it is, looking great. The jade house. Lorenzo's working on stone for us, getting some jade out of there, and we've got 2 so far. So excellent. Coming together, got our jade house. So there's one other thing before we go here that I want to point out to you guys. So we were talking about mines and whatever, doing on a lot of that this episode, but with our infinite mine that got completed, look at this. This guy is going to take lamp oil in order to operate. And that's something that we learned in the last series, but I forgot about. So yeah, we need to have lots of lamp oil going on. So before you go ahead and upgrade all your mines to deep mines, make sure you got your lamp oil figured out. And we currently only have 2 buildings that can even deal with that. We got the one with 3 people, the lighting factory, working on lamp oil, utilizing our beeswax, which we have a ton of. And then we have the other lighting factory over here, taking some of those lamp oils and a little bit of glass bottles and making some lanterns. Currently 30 over our reserve limit, so we're doing okay with lanterns. Don't need to worry about that so much. It's the lamp oil that we gotta really, really watch. And yeah, that's the only thing that I wanted to point out. So it's a really important thing to remember. So since we got the 1700 clothing, we got that figured out for now. That's really good. Another issue that we'll work on in the next episode, beside checking out the bazaar and the exquisite swords, is we're kind of hurting on some domestic fuels, and that's a combination of mines, not having enough people, and we've kind of built up a lot since we've kind of dealt with domestic fuels. So we'll look into that. But that's gonna all be in the next episode. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Have a fantastic and amazing rest of your evening, day, or night.